Mahila, so England is flooded, and like the Italians are they can be hot headed, but like they go through the mafia sort of thing. Like that's their way of dealing with stuff, and they're kind of like Euphrates a little bit. Like they kind of run that a little, like they're like the bosses that Drake talks of, and like they were heavy on the streets early in America's time, and then or in the 1900s, to about 1990, really, and then it all got filtered into like they're running the deal operations and stuff. So that's my theory, but I don't know, like they handle stuff with the tub a little bit, like Tupac, and they make the woman, or they make the man wear the dress and the woman wear the man's clothes. Like they do stuff like to make it turn out to be the Bible, like Medea, Persia, the goat. Like they'll make sure your symbolism like lines up so that like it all followed the Bible, you know, even the bad things. So, and then like you have the Pope, and like you know the Vatican, and Jonathan Kleck talks about the Vatican, and um, his information has been kind of uh, like stuck a little bit. Like yes, he has new events that happen in his life, and that's what's exciting. And his all of his information is great, and I think that he is chosen by God. But all of the Watchmen, and especially him, you can just tell like it's like we've been kind of stuck in our way of doing things, and he's so like true to himself that you can see that that is what is happening. Whereas these other guys try to cover that up, they're a little sneaky about it. But so you know, the Vatican, of course, like they're tied to Michael symbolism. And what's Michael do? Michael is tied to end times, So it's like you can see how the mafia pushes things along, and then the Vatican is like the end result. Like they're trying to provoke God to, like get involved, like, on a wide scale, like to start end times and like a tribulation, you know. Um so and I would say that England, um I would say that England is more on the side of like bro fights or something, and then I would say Italian is more like it gets deep into the EA, like the actual like street of Isaiah 51. That's my theory. Now, of course, it depends on the individual person. But, I met an Englishman when I was at SCAD, and like he was a recruit when I was there, and then I had left, and then I saw him at Nationals, and he said he was more on that EA side. Like he knew the deepness of how things can really get messed up. He really understood it well. And he kind of, he might say like mug or something, like this mug or this guy or this, guy, but they like he I don't know, like that's their way of like they use the language to kind of cover up some of that EA stuff a little bit. Like they're real proper about it, but they're not though. Like I don't, I'm just trying to decipher like why this happened. So Earth is kind of like the English was involved, that they weren't hearing that the earth wasn't hearing them, and then non-maasaw is the Samuel L. Jackson God, the maasaw. So, um, and I don't mean Samuel L. Jackson the person. I mean his character in Pulp Fiction. Okay, but sometimes I do mean the person. So August 28th, 1978 was Robert Shaw. So it's like Jesus said, like, you understand how this works here. Jesus said, okay, you're not hearing from because you're flooded. Well, when I go to the cross again, it's going to be through a shark, which everyone is afraid of, in New England, and I'm going to be dragged off the boat and underwater, when whenever I had survived the the torpedo, like dropping the bomb, dropping the bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and the ship that went down, and that was his way of saying, like, I had gone through G. This is me coming back for 6, because I am a 6 and a 7. Now the rest of the Bible is a test, just as, like, just as they show it in Barabbas, when they delivered up Barabbas to they set him free instead of Jesus. That's kind of like the red scene of Pulp Fiction, where they're like, hey, this is done for the story. Okay, like, that's how the Dogon interpret it. Because they say that John the Baptist and Jesus are a Janus. That's what they say. John the Baptist and Jesus are a Janus, and that and that Jesus did not go to the cross, like he got out of everything, and then the story changes. So they think Jesus has to go to the cross. Okay, like, and they think Jesus is like Michael, So like their interpretation of the cross is a little bit different. So like the 9 year of the Dogon mobbing and gets the head wound and doesn't die will be because of a terror attack that they blame on this person. Then he gets the lethal injection and doesn't die. Then, like, he mobs for 9 years with the whole world like, oh man, like, we can't even kill him. Like, let's set him up in the industry. Like, he'll be in movies and stuff, and then he'll get his personal army set up for whenever FEMA controls things. And then FEMA will put people in the Matrix, like they do it on the Nebuchadnezzar in the Matrix film. Like, they'll be hooked up and like live that out as they're in FEMA and eating like good food. Like, it'll be a little different. And those will be the people that Jesus, like, they'll get nuked at the end of the 7 years of that. These are my writings that I think, like, correspond to the world's writings of, like, the industry writings. They seem to line up. They really do. I'm not just making it up. Like, they seem to line up. Like, stuff that I write, and then I'll look at some movie and I'm like, man, they put that in the movie, and I get kind of prideful. I'm like, man, no, they got that from me, or, but it'll be an old movie, and I'm like, no, they didn't get it from me, It must be all these lost brothers and everybody that goes through the deal. Like, our writings are all connected. It's all connected. So, and it is. So, all right, so then 2022 minus 1973 is 49. 2021 minus 46 is 1975. My camera's messing up because it's going to the side. So take a look at this. Uh, all right. So the body are those two, the flower and the kind of like a dolphin, porpoise, small dolphin. Um, and then the head is all that up there. Okay. So, but it's humanoid, you know. It has arms and legs and everything, and it just might have cartilage or something like it. And it might be, you know, kind of flower based, like it, you know, like the way it's suave and stuff is like it, and it maybe its hair or something is like a, you know, like that. So you can kind of picture it. Um, but yeah. So an Abdurrahman Khan we've gone over before, and remember he was associated with British India, you know. Um, so and then that's associated with Paul Walker. All right. Thank you.